Hi everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Ruben Amorim press conference reaction for Manchester United's game against Crystal Palace. We've got interesting things to be said and spoken about, but I'll tell you what's really interesting, an update on Quenda and a transfer, which we're going to be talking about straight away. But Amorim has spoken about the future of Mainoo, Garnacho, Luke Shaw, Malacia, and it's explained why Manchester United do need to sell young players from the mouth of the manager. So we'll talk about that in a moment as well. But Quenda is exciting, says Tech Mashup. And where is this all coming in? Well, look, we're very fortunate in this community that when we got Amorim, for some reason, we have Portuguese people who watch the United Stand, who reached out, journalists, etc., gave us a load of information which we spoke about collectively in November. As part of that information and as part of the things we've heard, it's not rocket science that actually Quenda's the player that Amorim is most likely to go for, probably even more than Gyökeres. And we've been speaking about this on here for a couple of months now. Quenda, from Portuguese people who watch the channel and journalists who've been in contact, he's always been the name that he'd be the player that Amorim will go for. I think that reason is because width is so important in an Amorim system, and that I think is why he wants to go for Quenda with all the talent, and obviously he's trained him and probably sees that he's going to be absolutely special. If you could have Quenda and Dorgu as wide young players coming through, we've just added 2 wide players to a system that doesn't have enough wide players. But what is the story around this? So I've got to shout out that look, David Ornstein has said this in the last half an hour. Manchester, so it's an Ornstein bomber. Ornstein says, Manchester United are exploring a summer deal for Quenda. No formal offer, but United are looking into a move for Quenda, who is expected to cost around £33 million. Now, this is really interesting because Bola, the Portuguese outlet, which if you've been watching the United Stand for any period of time, you'll know about Bola, Ojoga, Record. There is another one. They're all Portuguese outlets that we spent a whole summer analysing, obsessing about when we tried to get Bruno that summer. So we know these outlets. They said a few hours ago, Quenda will join Man United in the summer for around £50 million. Transfer is certain. So Portuguese source puts that out this morning. I saw it on MUFC MPB on Twitter, and I thought, Portuguese sources can be very, very weak. But then Ornstein has come up in the last hour sort of saying the same thing. All right, the price is a little bit different, but 2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 is Matic, Mark. But no, 2 + 2 is 4, I think. You know, you get the Portuguese outlet saying that this will happen. And then you get the then you get David Ornstein saying it will happen as well. And I think that I think it's really interesting how that the volume's gone down again. Every bloody show at the moment. Right. Just very, very quickly, if anybody's a computer specialist, please tell me why every time I put my OBS on, it's knocking my volume down by 25%. This is a bloody good computer and it keeps bloody doing it. I can't remember to do that. I can't. My life's too busy. I can't remember to go live, put the overlay on, get the stream set up, think of the topics. I can't remember I can't think to go, has the volume dropped down? It's doing my head in. Yeah, anyway. It was down a little bit, I've got to be honest. Delo is in trouble next season, says Hurtful Replies. Well, look, first things first, very exciting about Quenda. Coming in from Ornstein. He broke about Dorgu. Look, all I'll say about David Ornstein is, and to a certain extent Fabrizio, but they are the 2 best, and they're the 2 best sourced around Man United. I think the journalistic world is up in arms. They don't like it that Ornstein and Romano get all the transfer stories, and they do get all the transfer stories, and they get them from someone in the club. So when David Ornstein puts something out about Quenda and Man United, he's just not that guy. He's not that guy who goes, Plettigol does it. He'll link us to somebody that we don't get, and he'll link us to people that we are going to get. I think Plettigol's a bit, he's good, but he will link us to people that we don't get. Ornstein doesn't link us to players that we're not going to get. So I think that I'm very excited about this, as I say. So if you tuned in a little bit late, David Ornstein has just tweeted in the last half an hour that Man United are looking at a deal for Quenda in the summer Portuguese outlets said it this morning as well. So this is looking really promising. We have got a good relationship with Sporting. We have said we won't go anywhere near Sporting in January, and we haven't. And I think this is really positive. And we desperately need width in that team. I know Dorgu's coming in. I know we've got Ahmad, and hopefully we'll talk about Garnacho in a minute and what's happening with him. But we definitely need more, and we need specific width. Quenda, I haven't seen loads of Quenda, but from what I have seen, he's a winger who can play as a fullback. He's been likened to Saka. I read an article on Quenda a couple of months ago, actually, and somebody who's coached him said he's like Saka, but better, because he really can do the defensive work better than Saka, but he can also get forward. Well, I don't think he is better than Saka, but if he is in the same conversation as Saka, happy days. So I think this is really positive. We need to get wide players in. The fact that he's so young, the fact that Amorim's worked with him before, I think this is a real positive if we can get it done. But can we get him now, Mark? No, I mean, you're not going to do this deal now. This is going to be next financial year after June the 30th. But it's positive. It's positive, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. Thank you, United Stand, for the experience in Bucharest, says Pona. Off topic, but I got my tickets for your show, says Kenneth. Yeah, don't get your tickets for the show. Links in the description. I'll put the QR code up in a minute. Dorgu, Garner left, and Quenda Ahmad on the right. Here we go, says Ardo. And Delo is in trouble next season. That was from Hurtful Replies. Look, Delo, I don't know what happens with Delo. I said this last night. Good goal, played well when he went to the left, but he's been bad off the left. He's been bad off the right. I think he was good under Ten Hag. I think Amorim sees what we see. Very rarely does Amorim say something that we don't agree with, and I think Amorim sees what we see, and I'm sure he's looking at Delo and seeing exactly the same thing that we're seeing, that he just isn't performing at the moment. And maybe there is an opportunity, I don't know, to move him on in the summer, because nobody should be safe. But look, we'll have to just wait and see on it. I don't know, but Delo, I still think there's a good player there, but I don't know. Sorry. Let me just send that message there, getting a message about something. Yeah, all right, okay. Let me talk to you about what Ruben Amorim said, because we are here to do his press conference reaction. So he was asked about, I'm just going to do this first. So he was basically asked a question about how do you balance keeping players as well as getting the best out of them. You've seen the impact Kobe and Garnacho have been linked with being sold. Is there going to have to be some difficult decisions there, or do you want to build a team around them? So Mainoo and Garnacho have been linked with moves away. Amorim was asked a direct question about, will you have to make difficult decisions about those players, or do you want to build a team around them? Now, obviously, this is on the heels of a whole month of, are we going to sell Garnacho? At the start of the month, are we going to sell Mainoo? So, and United were happy for that to be out there. As I said, they could have killed those rumours dead. They never have. So United obviously happy for the football world to know that we would consider offers for Mainoo and Garnacho. This is what Amorim had to say. That part is true around difficult decisions, but I want players like Mainoo and Garnacho. The focus is that we have to improve our academy, and you have to bring more through. That is something that all clubs in England have to take advantage of. The players that come through from the academy to play, to wear the shirt, and also to sell. So our focus is to bring more youth players through. The rest, I just want to prepare with both of them for the next game. So a very, very honest answer from Ruben Amorim, and a very sad state of affairs where I blame the Premier League. Ruben Amorim basically saying there, look, I want Mainoo and Garnacho as part of the future of my team. And that's never been in doubt. I think it's very obvious that he wants to use Garnacho and Mainoo, and he doesn't want to sell those players. But what he goes on to say is that it's advantageous, and every other club is doing it, to sell young players, because those are the rules that have been set in place by the Premier League, where if you are Chelsea and you buy Mudryk on a 7-year deal, and he's a load of shit, you can't sell him, because there's no advantage to selling him, because he's only 1 or 2 years in to a very long contract, and you're never going to get your money back, so it doesn't work. But if you have a 19-year-old who's really talented, and Everton want to give you 30 million for him, you'd sell him for the 30 million profit. It's arse about face. The Premier League rules are stupid. It actually promotes selling young players, which goes against the most exciting thing for any fan of any football club, is bringing through young players. And, you know, you look at Bradley at Liverpool coming through. Liverpool could sell him now for 30 million and make pure profit. They won't do it, but you could do it, and it promotes you do that. So Amorim saying we need to bring more academy players through so we can sell them, play them, keep them. What he's basically saying is, if I bring through 5 young players, then maybe I sell 1, maybe I sell 2, and maybe 3 of them I use. So it's a conveyor belt. What he's saying is, everybody's doing it. This is the way of football at the moment. We need more young players to come through so we can nurture them, keep some, sell some. And basically, it becomes a little bit like a farm, in the sense that the more horses you bring through, some of them you keep and some of them you sell, and that's how it works. And when you look at Obi Martin, Kone, Lusale, Avery, Heaven, the plan isn't really going to be to keep all of them, is it? The plan is also to sell some of them. I mean, we might get lucky and not sell all of them because they're so good, but I think that this is the way football's going. And I look, it's a bigger picture question, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. Clubs are now purposely accumulating young talent to sell some of it. And that's not really, you can't really blame Amorim for being honest, because there are clubs that are bypassing PSR by doing this. But the big question is Garnacho and Mainoo part of his plans? Yes, they are. And he went on to say this about Garnacho. He says, I don't think he's improving under me. I think it's down to him. He's changed the way since that game against Man City where I dropped him. The way he understands things and understands that I just want to help him. I just want to win games. He's changed in everything. The approach when he talked with him, he changed in everything. The way he recovers. He understands that sometimes I'm a different coach, that I'm demanding in my way, and sometimes it is hard to make the first impact because he's a different kind of coach. He understands that he is never in a bad way. It's always for him. But I'm a different person. I think all the merit is for Garnacho. He is improving, and we want to continue to improve with Garnacho. He understood the position, the moments of playing inside and outside, the connection with Mainoo. I think he is improving a lot. So, look, the way he's been performing, the way the manager talks about him, the way he's really happy about him, the way he's working really hard, the way the manager is putting the credit towards the player. We know what Amorim can be like if he thinks a player isn't putting the work in. I just can't see Garnacho going now, surely. It would be criminal. Be absolutely criminal. It's just publicly, I don't want Garnacho to go from the manager. So it would be ridiculous to sell a player when he's trying. What's the point in bringing a manager in to rescue Man United and then in the first 2 months selling a player that he feels is good enough to help us rescue ourselves? It'd be silly. Absolutely silly. It's like employing the world's best lifeguard, and he's off out there to help everybody on his, in his designer swim trunks, and then the Glazers take him off him, leave him exposed. It doesn't. I mean, it's a bit kinky, but it is the same. You're taking. He probably hasn't got the tools to do the job anyway, and the ones that he has got, you're going to take off him. It's silly. He was also asked about Kobbie Mainoo and his contract. He says, I don't think it's the contract. Everybody in England sees him as a good player. He played in the Europa League Championship final, the Euros. I think it's more position. Before he was always playing, and now sometimes he plays and sometimes he doesn't. He doesn't play and he's not comfortable. Maybe there's something to do with that. But I think the key point is the position. It's different for him. It demands a lot from him. Today in that position, I feel more happy to play. Simple as that. I don't look at the movements, the way he touches the ball. I feel it just watching him. He was happy on the pitch, and that is more important for me, because if they are happy, they play better. I think he can change position. So look, he was asked about the contract there. It's sometimes hard to understand what Amorim is saying, because I don't know whether he's saying about maybe Mainoo won't sign a contract, because I was just sort of like reading back my notes, and it's like, I don't think it's the contract. He was playing and now sometimes he doesn't play. Maybe there is something to do with that. He's not comfortable, but I think the key point is the position. I mean, I don't know. I think he sort of was answering two questions in one. What I took from it is that Mainoo's problems on the field, as we've said, is he's played too many games. And I think Amorim is alluding to that by saying that he was playing all the time and now he doesn't. And he's playing in a different position now as well. I think what he's basically saying is that Mainoo was playing too much football. And he was playing too much football in the wrong position. Whereas now, he's not playing every minute of every game. He's not in every team like he was under Ten Hag. Sometimes he doesn't play. And last night, he played in a different position. So, and what Amorim is saying is watching him last night, it's not just about the goal or the passes, it's the way he moves. And that's a good thing, you know, because I don't know whether you've got dogs or cats or something. They can't talk. And I can tell when my dog's in a bad mood or in a good mood or in a happy mood or feels comfortable just by who's around, whether they've had a walk that day. And I'm not likening Kobbie Mainoo or any other player to a cat, but I get what Amorim's saying. I think he can see that Mainoo was happier last night, even though he probably wasn't walking around with a smile on his face. He could just see in the way that he was playing that he was happier. And I think that does come across. So I think there's two things there. I think the position, like Amorim said, putting him in a more advanced position, making him feel a bit happier, became more confident. And also, I genuinely think as well, Mainoo was burnt out. I said this at the end of last season that I didn't really want him to be part of the England team for the Euros. As an Englishman, I did, because I'm selfish and I want to see a Man United player playing for England. But as a Man United fan, I didn't want him to go because he needed that break in the summer. He was 18/19 and it was his breakthrough season. He didn't need to go on that tournament, but he was good enough and he got picked and he played, and that's just the way it is. But I think that has probably caused an issue with him at the start of the season, which Amorim is, looking to resolve. Why are we signing buy and reject, especially an attacking player? Didn't we learn from our existing dummies? Says Tilak. A bit of a stupid comment there. Selling young stars hits the profit side of the PSR. What about the sustainability side? Developing young players at clubs surely makes them much more sustainable, or is it all just financial now, says Patrick. I think Man United have become a little bit like Barcelona though, Patrick. I think we are very much hand to mouth. We're living hand to mouth, and what I mean by that is some people get up in the morning and they don't know where the food's coming from to feed them that day. And then they find it, and then tomorrow's another day. And I think Man United are a bit like that at the moment. We're living year to year. It's like, how do we survive PSR this year? How do we survive it next year? Now, I think there is a very big way that Man United are going to deal with this, which is probably why the Glazers are hanging around and probably why Sir Jim and Glazers are working together. But that's for another day. But in the short term, we're just surviving, I think. We are very close to PSR. Raskit says, always said Mainoo is a number 10. Can't wait to see him play there. Well, Raskit, I would say, how long have you been saying that for then? Always said Mainoo is a number 10. It's amazing how you can tell us that Mainoo's a number 10, yet he's only been playing for a year and he's 19. So I will tell you this, Raskit. At the moment, I think number 10 is his best position. But when he's 20 or 21, he might be a number 8. Stop pigeonholing teenagers who haven't even fully developed physically yet. This pontificating of, oh, I've always told this, I've always said that, I'm Superman. Look, mate, just enjoy the fact that we've got a young, talented player. Garnacho was a left winger last season. Now he's going to have to play as a number 10. Like, I don't want Mainoo to be pigeonholed as a number 10. I think he's going to get bigger physically, and I think he could become a really commanding... Look at Jude Bellingham. I mean, Jude Bellingham plays very advanced for Dortmund and England, for Real Madrid and England now. I felt at Dortmund he was more of a deeper midfielder. So maybe Mainoo's going down that route. But I think at the moment, I agree, I would be playing Mainoo as a 10. But I also think that at 19, it's ridiculous to say he's going to be a number 10 for even the next year. I think we'll see him... There's no way he's just going to play in that position for the rest of the season. He'll definitely go back into the pivot at some point as well, which is good. I mean, somebody said this morning, what are we going to do in the midfield now if Mainoo's going to play as a number 10? It's like, he's played in the midfield for the last year. He's played one game as a 10, and now we're not going to use him as a midfielder again. Like, someone was using it as an excuse not to get rid of Casemiro. Get rid of Casemiro, you've got Ugarte, Collier, Mainoo, Bruno, who can all play in that double pivot. That's 4 players. And what you do is, if you want to play Mainoo as a 10, you play him as a 10. And then if Collier gets injured and Bruno gets injured, you put Mainoo deeper because he can do that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't want to pigeonhole people because we might need to use him in a deeper position at some time if somebody gets injured, etc. If Bruno is average, should we sell him, says John? I'm not talking about selling Bruno. Just a quick for your attention about Bears. If Browns lay down... I don't know what that's all about, Inbred Yeti. Unrelated, do you think Amorim will try... Oh, God. It's like a hat trick of shit questions. What? Oh, just... Oh, take a breath. Raval, why? Why doesn't somebody ask me the question, what do you think about the Glazers not letting Man United visit Tampa because they'll see the facilities? I mean, it's right up there with that again. Right, Raval's done a super chat, so I have to read it. Do you think Amorim will try Martinez in the pivot? Lack of height in the back line has cost us. He and Bruno have the best passing range while giving Ugarte a hunting mate for front-footed pressing. I mean, I've heard this so many times now. I mean, and I've answered it so many times. Martinez in the pivot is as weird as people saying, let's play Wan-Bissaka at centre-back. Why do we need to take Martinez from a back 3 where he steps into the midfield all the time and put him in the midfield? And he's left-footed and we don't have hardly any left-footed players. We don't have a left-footed centre-back, actually. Why would you move your only left-footed centre-back out of a back 3 when he's stepping into the midfield anyway? We don't need to do it. I'm not saying it's a stupid idea. I'm just saying it's been asked so many times and it's been answered so many times. We're not playing a centre-back 2. We're playing 3 at the back, which enables one of our centre-backs to step out all the time. And Martinez is that guy. So Martinez is in the midfield anyway, and he's our only left-footed centre-back. So no, I wouldn't leave him because he balances the back 3, but he steps into the midfield anyway. Maybe we could try Nana as a number 9, says Unbelievable Jeff. Chevel says, don't you think this is a PR Glazer thing, not good January, so story for the summer? Yes. Yeah, you're probably right, Quenda. Why are we talking about a summer signing the last couple of days of the transfer window? Ornstein and Romano get very good information from the club. Ornstein drops about Quenda 2 days before the end of the transfer window. Well done. That's the sort of comments we want. Even I didn't think that. I'd fell into the trap. Well done. Chevel, well done. You're the Friday superstar. Well done. And he's got tickets to the show. 8-year follower. Well, mate, well done. I'd have given you 2 tickets for free. What a great comment. I didn't even think about that. Why is Ornstein dropping a story about Quenda 3 days from the end of a January transfer window for a summer signing? Someone at United's told him, haven't they? We have to win well, a good source has told him. We have to win the league next season, says Hyans. Thank you, United Stand team, for the experience. Thank you very much. Okay, well, there is more from Amorim. Let me talk about this. So, Ruben Amorim was asked about Luke Shaw. He said Luke Shaw came back from training. It will take a little bit more time. I think he needs to train more, to spend more time with the teammates, playing a normal, even small-sided games, not just working alone. He stays there to make a different type of work. He's going to get together with the team when we arrive back and start from there. And when I feel it's the right moment, we will start with some minutes in the game. So basically what he's saying is that Luke Shaw was back in training on Wednesday, but as he said a couple of weeks ago, it will be time before Luke Shaw is ready to play. Needs to play more with his teammates, get his fitness up. So, I mean, what's our fixtures? I know we've got. Wait, he's not playing He's not playing against Palace at the weekend, is he? I very much doubt he won't be playing against Leicester in a week. So effectively, we've got Palace on Sunday. We've got Leicester in the Cup a week tonight, which hopefully will be Dorgu's debut. Spurs on the Sunday. He won't play that. I'd say Everton away 2 weeks tomorrow. No, it won't even be Everton away 2 weeks tomorrow. Why am I getting mixed up? I've lost a week here. Oh no, maybe Spurs. Spurs, a week on Sunday. That's what I was getting mixed up on. Spurs 2 weeks on Sunday away. Maybe he'll be ready for that, for the bench. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I lost the week. I thought we were playing Friday, Sunday, which is stupid. We play Friday and then the following Sunday. So Sunday the 16th probably would be when Luke Shaw could be available. He was also asked about Malacia. He said, look, we'll see. What I know is that he's really hard, that it's really hard on Malacia, a long time without playing. It's hard to make a lot of games up. A player like him is a fullback. Sometimes in this system, he plays the national team outside and inside. Sometimes it's hard for him because he's not so offensive. He can play like one of the three defenders. If we have more possession and more control of the game, it's really difficult context for him. But he's our player and we're going to help him. I think in relation to Malacia, that's just a nice way of saying he's not good enough, which I think most of us think anyway. I think we all feel bad for him. But, I mean, Amorim has just basically said there he can't attack as a left back. So, therefore, he's going to be better in a back three, but he's too small for that. Basically, he doesn't suit the system. Amorim's just basically saying he's a left back in a back four and he's not an attacking left back. So there is no place in the team because he's not a left-sided centre back. Luke Shaw can do that. Malacia can't. And he's not an attacking fullback. Well, we don't even play attacking fullbacks. We play wide backs. So, yeah, he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. It's as simple as that, isn't it? I know he's been a long time out, but I don't think he was much better before than he has been since he came back. I think he was a bit better, but yeah, I mean, the best you would hope for with Malacia is that he's a decent backup option, but I think backup options in the modern game play a lot of games. I mean, there's not many people who sit on the bench and never play until the left back gets injured. You play football now. You do. You rotate a lot more. The games come thick and fast. They're intense. You've got to play. And I don't think Malacia is even good enough to be a backup. And he's certainly not good enough to be a backup when... I mean, you saw it yesterday. I watched him play a game a few weeks ago and I was going mad at the lack of crosses. And yesterday, I think Eriksson pinged a lovely ball out to him in the first half. He gets it out of his feet. He looks at the cross. It's there. And then he takes another touch and tries to take on the fullback and loses the ball. Or passes it backwards. So he's just not very good at going forward, as Amorim says. And at 5'7", if that's how tall he is, T Green says, he can't play. When you play a 3-4-3 and you're not and you're a defensive fullback, where do you play? Like if we kept Wan-Bissaka, where would he play? And Wan-Bissaka would be better going forward than Malacia. But yeah, it's a system thing. It's a system thing. Martinez is not 5'6", Carl. He's 5'9". He's definitely not 5'6". I mean, I'm not saying 5'6" is small, but you would see like 5'6" is. I think Ashley Young's 5'6". Let's put it that way. No, Ashley Young's 5'9". Yeah, okay. So. Yeah, he ain't 5'6". He's 5'9". He's definitely not 5'2". Why are we signing Tiak? We've read that one, and that one as well. And let me just refresh this. It's gone really weird. Dan Gore's going to Rotherham, says McNeely. Yeah, well, he needs a loan deal. I don't know what league Rotherham are in these days, but yeah, he does need a loan deal. But look, interesting. I feel a bit deflated about the Quenda story now because I think it was actually quite a good comment to say that why are we being linked to a summer deal in the January transfer window and why is it coming out from David Ornstein, who's very reliable when he gets his sources from? Is this Man United sort of like going, yeah, we're not getting anyone else in the window, but in the summer we're going to get Quenda. So it's a bit like Christmas Day, you wake up, you didn't get the present you want, but they say next year you're definitely going to get it. So maybe that's maybe that is. Look, we probably will get Quenda in the summer. At the end of the day, we probably will get Quenda in the summer, but it's not looking good for the January transfer window. Maybe it's a bit of a sweetener because they know we're not going to get Tell. Maybe Tell's going to go to Spurs, but. We will have to wait and see. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. We are back with an evening show as per usual at 8 o'clock. Obviously, if anything breaks in between then, we will let you know. And yeah, Fantastic. Good comments from Amorim as well in the interview. Don't forget, the tickets are going very, very fast for the Dublin show. It's going to be the best one we've ever done. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you go through the link in the description or scan the QR code and get your tickets while you can. It's a fantastic venue. It won't really matter where you've sat. I will actually show you what the venue looks like on the evening show so you can see it. But it's going to be a cracking show, and we're very excited about it. So get your tickets while you can. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you later on. Take care. What do I click? Oh, of course, you've been doing it for years. You know what to click, you bloody idiot.